again, up the middle, talking about election topics, 5 topics that we're going to go through and show you where the country stands. And this isn't necessarily where you need to stand. You need to make your own decision. And this is going to help you hopefully go to some spots and find out some information about all 5 of these topics so you can continue to make a decision based on your own beliefs, ideals, and so on. Tonight we're going to talk about gun control, abortion rights, the economy, the war in Ukraine, immigration, and then lastly, kind of a pseudo topic, flag flying, some stats on who flies the flag and what color the country really is, red, blue, or maybe purple. As always, you can find me anywhere you want to be. Go to Yergz.com to find any more information about Up the Middle. Right now, it's a placeholder. As we said in a previous episode, we were supposed to launch the website this past week, and my web developer had a family emergency. His mom went into cardiac arrest, and we send all of our thoughts, more than just the gun bullshit. This is real prayers for my web developer's family, the piece that hopefully his mom is now at. Yergz.com, coming soon. Hang in there. Let's get into some statistics. And the first one, gun control. Right out of the bat, I looked at this and I thought, well, I might be doing some of my own fact checking, because this first source comes from Congressman Mike Thompson, a Democrat from California. Okay, so we know that's not exactly a gun-friendly state. In fact, when I spent my 3 years there in the Secret Service, I didn't even have my own personal guns with me. I left that in, as Dick Cheney used to say, an undisclosed location. However, the poll that he puts on his website supposedly comes from Fox News. So there's a little bit of at least some attempt being impartial, or for at least for me, I'm showing Fox and a liberal Democratic congressman. I fact checked it, and I've got another source. We'll go over that in a second. But here's what Fox and Congressman Thompson are saying on Congressman Thompson's website. 87% are in favor of background checks for all gun purchases. I think that's common sense. 81% are in favor of enforcing the existing gun laws. Another or similar 81% are in favor of the legal age to be 21 to buy any guns. 80% are in favor of requiring mental health checks on all gun. Again, I don't think we're rewriting any common sense laws there. 80% are in favor of flagging people who are a danger to themselves. Yeah, again, I think that goes back to the existing gun laws. 2 things I'm in favor of personally. Sandy Hook was one, and I know there was a guy who just got fined like $1 billion or sued for $1 billion, whatever. But truth of that situation is the kid who did the Sandy Hook school shootings showed signs of mental illness. I'm not saying that it was totally preventable. However, he and his mother, who he murdered, by the way, were doomsday hoarders. That may not be illegal. Perhaps it's not. Certain environments like, an office or any other, obstruction of a way out, it's not common sense and breaks some fire code, probably even a private residence. But it's not normal. And that, among some of the other signs, should have been an easy way in for local authorities or state authorities where these people were residing, and maybe mom would still be alive today. 77% require are in favor of the requirement for a 30-day waiting period. I mean, to do any of the other checks and so on, I think that's also common sense. 61% are in favor of a ban on assault weapons. I'm not part of that 61%, actually. So here's where I'm, personally sitting on a little bit of the right. Also, I mean, I'm mixed on this one. I think this one's a little too cut and dry and misleading as a result. But 45% are in favor of encouraging more citizens to carry guns to defend themselves against attackers or other public settings. That's your decision, not mine. You should not be giving in to pressure from me to carry a gun. Because one of the things that it does not show on this survey that I'm also in favor of are those who are carrying a firearm. If you're carrying a gun, just like when I was a police officer, just like when I was a bodyguard before that, just like when I was a Secret Service agent, I had to qualify with whatever firearm I used, or I couldn't use it. During the end of my career in the Secret Service, we were transitioning to Glocks, away from the SIG. I'm excellent with a Glock. I love Glocks. I have a Glock. But why? And during that period, I was permitted to continue to carry my SIG, and in fact, not issued a Glock because I did not qualify with it under Secret Service standards. Perfect sense. Makes perfect sense. Now, I'm a professional. I've been carrying a gun for 30 years, more than 30 years. I'm more than 51 years old, and I've been carrying since I was 21. I'm not the best shot, and I've been, shooting guns for more than 30 years. What is some guy off the street who or gal, either one, who decides they want to carry a gun to protect themselves? How are they going to do that with little to no education, training, and most importantly, certification? So probably a question that should have been asked in that poll. So we said we were going to fact check that. Gallup did a similar poll around the same time and found that basically 89% are in favor of restrictions. That was broken down to 57% wanting more strict gun laws. This is much more general. You can find more information from this in the citations. But 57% wanting more gun laws and 32% happy with where we're at right now, wanting about the same. 10% wanting less strict, more rights. And in theory, more rights given. But I mean, when my son doesn't want to go to the movies because we're to get back getting shot at the movie theater, what kind of freedom is that? Into abortion. Are you done with being lied to by the deceptive media and by members of Congress? Would you like to hear from an actual expert that's not only studied, but lived the events that we talk about today? My name is Yergz. With a degree in history and political science, I spent more than 21 years in the Secret Service and 25 overall in law enforcement. Join me right here on Spotify as we take from the right and from the left and go straight up the middle. Up the Middle. New episodes every Wednesday on Spotify. Hey gang, for your convenience, we've split this episode into 2 parts. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share, and turn on those notifications. We're building a community here, so whether you agree or disagree, we want to hear from you. And don't forget that we've got political candidate interviews on the way, so stay tuned. As always, check out our sponsors that are currently floating across the bottom of the screen. See you in part 2.